This program is brought to you by Monflo, ieder Innovative Technology, Real Root Supplements, Pro Privacy, Goud 999 en VRB, van eenmanszaak naar BV.
I could have made a fortune by applying those mRNA shots, which are, as to my thinking, are no vaccines at all. I could have made a fortune, and I did not apply a single one. And that's what I'm going for, a Nuremberg 2 trial. They dared to force an experimental drug on humanity. And this is something, this is really evil. By doing this, I did not make many friends, but I made different friends. And the new friends are the better ones. We are David and they are Goliath. But you know how it ended. And who won? It was David.
They are lying to you and they are controlling you.
That's your answer. We are beyond the tipping point.
During the battle for science in February this year, we brought some of the most courageous and outspoken international voices of our time to the Netherlands. Names such as Del Bigtree, Peter McCullough, Susharit Bhakti, and many others shared their perspectives on the state of science, health, media, and the societal developments we are all witnessing today. In addition to their appearances on stage, we recorded exclusive interviews. In this series, you now have the opportunity to watch these conversations. Today, I offer you a very interesting and creative scientist, virologist, Professor Dr. Martin Haditsch from Austria. Creator of very important documentaries during COVID and a warrior still today by fighting the battle in the European Parliament. Meet Professor Dr. Martin Haditsch, a man I met in February and instantly called a friend. One of a kind. Enjoy.
This is the battle for science.
Today I'm interviewing Professor Dr. Martin Haditsch all the way from Austria, and I knew him already a few years earlier from internet. I saw his work, Corona auf der Suche nach der Wahrheit. That was a documentary of 4 chapters, I think, that I subtitled in Dutch and broadcasted on YouTube because I thought this message is so important. I see a doctor, a professor, searching for truth, traveling, interviewing other people. Was really inspiring, and we had so many views with your documentary, and I'm happy that we can work together on that level. And you didn't even know that I existed, and I was using your work also for the greater good. But I think you did a great job with this series, Corona auf der Suche nach der Wahrheit. Why did you start this series? Because you're a virologist, you work in a lab, you're not a filmmaker. But then again, you made these 4 documentaries.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and it's my pleasure to meet you. And the honor is on my side to be here with Lighthouse today. You see, it was just by chance, because before that I did really very basic videos on my YouTube channel, and I spoke up, and this was obviously the ignition for the director of these documentaries to touch base with me and said, Martin, would you like to join us? Because we want to have some kind of a documentary on Corona, which illustrates the situation when an expert talks with an expert, but on community level, so that everybody can understand what's it all about. So to raise knowledge in the community. And I said, that's a fascinating idea. And primarily it was thought just to be one of those chapters. But then we realized that this whole story cannot be broken down to 45 minutes or let's say 1 hour. And so we said, why shouldn't we do a second one? And after the second one, we said, that's not enough. And so we did a third one and a fourth one, which was excellent. And then in addition to that, we recognized this very, very evil role of the WHO. So we did additional 2 chapters on WHO in search of the truth, which also was very interesting because we had also experts on, let's say, these topics. I had the honor to interview. So yeah, it was investigational journalism, despite the fact I never had learned it. But obviously it was not that bad, because otherwise they would have kicked me out.
Yeah. Yeah. I love your Austrian accent. The way you say one and broken down is like Arnold Schwarzenegger is also from Austria.
Oh, yeah, but please, that's another story, because he's hopefully my accent is not the same as Arnold's. Because
there are some similarities.
Deep. Yeah, he's also from Styria, from the southern part of Austria. I was also born there, but he's speaking a very broad Styrian English. So this is still different. I hope so.
Yeah, and he really pushed the vaccine.
Well,
I remember these videos where he kind of.
You see, so many people dared, despite any knowledge, and this includes also people from the medical profession. They dared to force an experimental drug on humanity, and this is something. This is really evil, and this was, of course, a reason to speak up. Which, by doing this, I did not make many friends. But I made different friends, and the new friends are the better ones.
Yeah, because tell me a little bit about yourself, Martin. I think that most people that are watching this show now are interested in what you do. They appreciate your work that we just showed with corona auf der Suche nach der Wahrheit, but they don't know much about you. Who is Martin Haditsch in the core?
Well, I did 2 studies in biology and in medicine. And in biology, my favorite was zoology. So I ended up to have some kind of a hobby in parasitology. But anyhow, I had also to cover microbiology with bacteria, which is I do on a daily basis. And of course, also virology. But in former times, on a very small margin, I would even say margin, because you see that the way we use to practice medicine, and this means on a at least European American scale, is can you make money out of your business? And in viral diseases, the simple answer at that time was no. You cannot make money because we don't have any drugs. Maybe for herpes, but then we are done. So the interest in viruses was quite low, and it was mostly in antibiotics, because with this you can make some business by treating bacterial infections, and a little bit of parasitology. Just think about malaria and so on. So I was more in the field of bacteriology and parasitology at that time. I finished both studies, and then I decided to become general practitioner. And during this time, I wanted to focus on a special topic, and this was what we call in Austria hygiene and microbiology. And by doing this, which takes another 5 years or something like that, I had the chance also to specialize in infectology and tropical medicine, which was another 2 years of education. And by dealing with tropical medicine, you, I would say, automatically also come in touch with viral diseases, because nearly everybody, maybe also the people now watching us, know about Ebola or yellow fever or dengue fever, because these are quite common diseases. And there, I would say, it switched a little bit away, not only from bacteriology and parasitology, more into virology. While I was in a lab associated with a hospital in Austria, it did not really develop really well. So I searched for another option. But at that time, I already had a small office concerning recommendations in travel medicine. And I know that there are some excellent colleagues I met in the International Society for Travel Medicine from the Netherlands. So I'm also close to some of the colleagues here.
People like who?
Well, I don't want to name them, but
Okay.
maybe you're aware that, for instance, if the Dutch Johann Strauss Kapelle goes on tour, they also need a doctor. And for instance, this is a close, I would even say, friend of mine.
Why don't you want to call names? Is there a reason?
Okay, I think
Are
he
we
would.
putting him in danger?
No. But I don't know how their position is actually, and I don't know whether they would like to be in touch with me nowadays,
But
because
this is interesting, huh?
I don't know. I don't know about their position. So I learned in the past that coming in touch with a person who was very critical during the Corona times, like myself, is maybe not the best way. I would like to give you an example. I always was the medical head of a vaccination day in Hanover in Germany. And based obviously on outside pressure or whatever it is, the agency now refused to prolong this series, which was already 6 times. The same agency also runs a show in southern Germany, in Bavaria, based on travel medicine. And I had already a contract to give a presentation there on a wholly different topic, on malaria. Yeah, but now they cancelled this contract due to some pressure from outside. So maybe for some people it's not so good to be too close to Martin Haditsch, and so I don't want to name those people in respect also for the work, because nobody deserves to be cornered or bullied or framed, whatever, just because he knows me or she. Yeah.
No, but that's so there. That's a really nice attitude that you have, because you are.
Hopefully.
I mean,
I'm not as bad as people talk
you are
about me.
careful. You show empathy to this person that we don't hear the name of.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are cancelled by lots of people. So, how do you feel about that? Doesn't that make you sad? Or is it just the price that you pay for being honest and have a straight back?
De uitzendingen van Lighthouse TV bevatten reclames. En ik weet dat sommigen van jullie daar last van hebben. Toch is het belangrijk dat ze er zijn. Want zonder deze inkomsten zou Lighthouse nu niet bestaan. Maar er is goed nieuws. Want vanaf oktober starten we met het Lighthouse Insider account. Daarmee kijk je al onze programma's volledig reclamevrij. Krijg je korting op de webshop, events en krijg je toegang tot de aankoop van een Lighthouse TV token. Een micro-aandeel op de blockchain. Mooie ontwikkelingen dus, maar tot die tijd wil ik je vragen om begrip. Haak niet af als je reclames ziet, maar probeer om te denken. Iedere spot die je ziet helpt Lighthouse TV financieel vooruit. En draagt indirect bij aan ons onafhankelijke en kritische geluid. En dat is keihard nodig. Dank voor je steun.
If we talk issues, if you expose yourself against an action on a global scale, which is promoted by top politicians, media, the military, and so on, you must be aware of the risk that people will take some distance from you, and they will at least officially not tell everybody that they are your friend.
And why are you willing to take that risk? What's in it for you?
That's my education. I mean, we talked before that, before our talk now here, we had a small talk on that. I mean, as I told you, I have a small vaccination center in Austria where I also provide travel vaccines like yellow fever, Hep A, typhoid fever, whatever, after counseling. And if these vaccines are not mandatory for the country people are going to, I leave it to the people to decide based on my best of knowledge whether they want to take it or not.
So you say it's okay when there is informed consent?
Of course, it's their decision. Yeah, it's their decision. And I had people showing up in my office. I told them about the vaccine, and maybe there's so-called HILI diseases, which means high impact, low incidence diseases, very rare diseases which might end up badly. But this risk could be taken by everybody, because the most dangerous thing you can do when you go abroad to the tropics is a car accident. And you cannot vaccinate against a car accident. And people are taking this kind of a risk. Why shouldn't they take another disease which is very rare? So it's up to them. And I had people coming to my office, and I informed them about everything I know about it, as neutral as possible. And they decided not to take the shot. And I told them, nice to meet you. You don't owe me anything. I didn't even take a counseling money for that, because it's their decision, and I respect that. And I think this is you see, you only can deal with the best of your knowledge, but we are here on a scientific conference, and I must tell you, we have, and this is a very big challenge, we have to re-establish trust in medicine, because it was all damaged. And to re-establish trust, we have also to re-evaluate each and every vaccine. And this is a very big task, because we were taught, you see, these are the facts. But we know now that even top journals in medicine, they were bribed, yeah, they were censored, they had to follow a way which was given by the big pharma. And so we have to re-evaluate. Some of those stories might be right, some might be wrong, and we have to find out and re-evaluate what can we take, what can we tell the public about these vaccines. Is it true what we told in the past? And I tell you, I would of course dare also to tell them I was wrong. But I have to believe anything. And if I go to the top journals, maybe those data could be trustworthy. I don't know. But you see, one of the main parts, and this was what we talked about before, is having this small office for vaccinations and for travel medicine recommendations and a little bit of infectology. Yeah, I could have made a fortune by applying those mRNA shots, which are, as to my thinking, are no vaccines at all. I could have made a fortune, and I did not apply a single one. And even in terms of occupational health in my lab in Germany, where I sometimes replaced the doctor who applied the other vaccines, I told them, never ever will I replace the doctor in giving these shots, because it's unethical. You see, and we must not apply any experimental drug on a mandatory scale in any of our human beings around.
I think that's a right attitude, especially as a medical doctor. But why do you think did so many doctors choose to do this and not follow the same ethical path that you chose? Is that simply the money, the career? What was going on?
I think there are so many aspects that had impact on the decision of the colleagues, and it's not my turn to blame them. I think.
No, I just want to understand because you might have also tried to understand the psychology behind decision making. You must have found colleagues that you worked with for years that chose to do it, and you didn't.
Yeah.
And what's behind this?
I just wanted to point out it's not my intention to blame them, because it's others. You might call it God, you might call it the universe, you might call it other colleagues, you might call it the lawyers, you might call it the patients, whoever. They can maybe judge on them, but it's not upon me. And frankly spoken, should there be, and that's what I'm going for, a Nuremberg 2 trial, yeah? If they ask me to be there as an expert or giving testimony, if they ask me, I would do it because they might ask me because they still believe that I'm fair. You see? But I would not, as a person, go there to take revenge or whatever. This is not my attitude. But you asked why they chose it. And I think there were many aspects, just a few of them.
Op dit exacte moment bewegen er miljoenen onzichtbare frequenties door jouw lichaam en de ruimte om je heen. Radiogolven, wifi, bluetooth, licht en geluid, magnetische velden en misschien zelfs signalen die we nog niet volledig begrijpen. Je ziet ze niet, je hoort ze niet, je voelt ze misschien onbewust, maar wat als ze meer invloed hebben op je leven dan je beseft? Wat is eigenlijk een frequentie? En als alles in het universum trilt, resoneert en een eigen frequentie heeft, welke rol spelen deze onzichtbare krachten dan in ons dagelijks leven? Nou, dat is één van de grote vragen die we gaan onderzoeken tijdens de allereerste editie van de Battle Beyond Science op 18 en 19 september dit jaar. Na het grote succes van de Battle for Science in februari, waar de staat van de wetenschap centraal stond, gaan we nu op zoek naar antwoorden op vragen waar de wetenschap geen of nog geen antwoord op heeft. Welke invloed hebben frequenties op ons lichaam, op onze gezondheid, op onze emoties en bewustzijn? En als die invloed er dan is, hoe werkt dat dan? Nou, dat gaan we dus visualiseren. Op grote schermen tonen we live hoe geluid, water, licht en trillingen zich vertalen naar indrukwekkende patronen en vormen. Niet alleen maar om het te zien, maar vooral ook om te leren, te ervaren en te voelen. Laat je dus verrassen door inspirerende lezingen, live-experimenten met onder andere remote viewing, telepathie, tijdreizen, kwantummechanica en sound healing sessies die wetenschap, verwondering en beleving samenbrengen. Met bijzondere gasten zoals de Britse wetenschapper John Stuart Reid, Erik Larakker, Marijn Poels, Baptiste de Paap, professor Pierre Capel, contactee Elena Danaan en vele andere. Stuk voor stuk sprekers die je zullen uitdagen om verder te kijken dan de grenzen van de traditionele wetenschap. Reserveer vandaag nog je ticket en beleef het allemaal op 18 of 19 september tijdens de allereerste editie van de Battle Beyond Science. Want alles heeft een frequentie.
Waarom zou je moeilijk doen met allerlei apps, wallets en bankrekeningen als dat in één account kan? Beheer al je euro's en crypto's eenvoudig in één app waarbij je altijd toegang hebt tot jouw geld. En de boodschappen betaal je eenvoudig met de betaalpas die je wereldwijd kunt gebruiken. Ga nu naar www.monflow.com/lighthouse en ontvang ook nog eens een gratis betaalpas.
Werk jij als ondernemer nog vanuit een eenmanszaak of VOF? Heb je een goedlopend bedrijf en maak je winst? Maar voel je je als een hamster in een hamsterrad? Je werkt hard, maar je komt geen stap vooruit. Dan kan dat heel goed kloppen. Want waar een eenmanszaak of VOF een fiscale fuik is en jou als ondernemer klein houdt, is een beschermende BV-structuur juist een fiscaal vliegwiel dat je helpt om iets op te bouwen en te groeien. Want met een beschermende BV-structuur betaal je tot wel 50% minder winstbelasting. Je houdt daardoor veel meer over om weer te investeren en al je bezittingen zijn optimaal beschermd. Wil je weten hoe dit zit voor jouw situatie? Vraag dan nu gratis het e-book aan van eenmanszaak naar de beschermende BV-structuur via vrbadvies.nl.
You see, if you did not follow what was by the Austrian Doctors Board, what was in the media and so on, you were even risking your license, which was bad for those doctors who still had a family to care for and whatever. Frankly spoken, what I did not understand is that those doctors who had already finished their work, why they didn't speak up, because They had a huge of experience and all that. And despite that, they still did not speak up. The second thing is, yes, there was also some kind of pressure from the outside, not meaning that they lose the job, but based on career, whatever. If you're in a hospital and you depend on your employer to finish your whatever, your career and so on, I think you think twice whether you do it or not. The third thing is, of course, some of those really, I'm deeply convinced, did not know what they were doing. Yeah. I think maybe here it is a little bit with, let's say, religion or whatever. And Jesus also said, "Forgive them; they don't know what they're doing." And maybe they could be forgiven because they simply did not know what they did. But there is also another group who really wanted to make money, and this was, this was a crime. This was a real crime. People who really did it out of this motive, they should have known better, and they should go to jail, frankly spoken. If they, it always depends on the size of their misbehavior. But you see, I know that some of the colleagues, they simply closed up their offices. They went into a place where they gave up to 300 shots a day, where you simply cannot reach informed consent. It's not possible.
That's on an industrial scale almost.
Yeah. It's unbelievable, and they were even proud of it. They went out to the open and said, "I vaccinated 300 people per day." And I said, "Well, how did you inform those people, and what did you tell them?" Because I know it, and you could even check my agenda in my office. If somebody comes to get information on travel vaccines, it's at least half an hour. So if you're on basic vaccines, it would be at least 15 minutes. And if you have a vaccine, which is no vaccine, but it's some kind of a experimental substance, where at least half of what could happen is not known. It was already bad enough, what we knew already about those shots. But still there were unsolved things. You should inform them that we say, we don't know whether it integrates in your genome or not. We don't know what impact it has on your fertility. We don't know what might happen if you're still able to give life to a child. What happens to this child? We don't know anything about the fertility of this child, about underlying diseases, about maybe, there was a US study on children born to injected parents who were not injected themselves, and who also didn't have COVID. So no contact to the infectious agent either. And they checked the data from official sources in the US, and they found out that the decrease of the average survival rate in the first 5 years of life was diminished by 77%.
Wow, that's significant.
And that is significant. Or let's say the excess death rate was 77%, which is not the same. I have to correct myself. The excess death rate was higher by 77%.
I understand.
And you see, that's horrific, even if it's very small, because usually just 5 children die in the first 5 years of age. If instead there are 8 deaths, behind each and every of these children deaths, there are parents, there are grandparents, there might be a sister, a brother.
It's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy. And this is the sequelae of injecting these substances into the parents. So, also the miscarriages and so, they all have risen substantially in those past 5 years. And still, you see, no matter what was the reasons, I just illustrated 4 of those, no matter what it was, I still think that those colleagues should reconsider their decisions, immediately stop those actions, and I think as they broke their oath or their promise, I mean, there's the Geneva or the Hippocratic Oath, Geneva Convention or a Hippocratic Oath, they should reconsider their actions, and maybe they should try for the rest of their life somehow to contribute to the public based on the damage they did.
I know, since you sent me some links, that you also are a musician.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
You made a few songs with even video clips on it.
Yeah.
And one of the songs that I would like to share with the audience is a song that you wrote yourself.
Yes.
Let's just listen to it, and then we can argue what is the message, the hidden message that you wanted to send out to the world. Let's just watch Martin Haditsch in action.
It's just a short instance, no second chance. Such a short distance to get there. And you are grooving to get into the mood when you start your moving to get there. The road is long, you don't feel strong enough to make it. You'll call it out, you'll cry it so loud, they shouldn't take it from you. That makes you feeling blue, but still, you know, there's a kind of superpower in your mind. It's just a short instance, no more than a glimpse of your eyes. Such a short distance to get there. No silly teacher, some turn to preacher. When you intend reaching out to get there, the road
Martin, great voice you have, and I liked the song, but in my introduction I said I was curious about the hidden message. Well, maybe it's obvious, but what are you trying to send out to the world?
Je werkt hard en spaart, maar toch klopt er iets niet. Geld op de bank lijkt veilig, maar wordt steeds minder waard. Soms zit de oplossing in iets eenvoudigs. Iets wat al duizenden jaren waarde houdt. Goud en zilver. Bij Goud 999 koop je eenvoudig fysiek edelmetaal. Veilig en op jouw naam opgeslagen in Zwitserland. Meer dan 25.000 spaarders gingen je al voor. Wil je niet alleen sparen, maar ook jouw vermogen beschermen? Ga naar goud999safe.com/lighthouse en ontvang tijdelijk 5 gram zilver cadeau.
Waar komt ons eten vandaan en door wie wordt het gemaakt? Die vraag houdt mij al jaren bezig. Daarom ben ik gaan werken aan mijn eigen natuurlijke productlijn. Met ingrediënten van zorgvuldig geselecteerde boeren en afkomstig van dieren die een goed leven hebben gehad. Bij Real Roots beginnen we niet bij het product, maar bij de bron. We selecteren voedingsrijke ingrediënten uit de puurste leefomgevingen. Van vitamine A tot zink brengen we de kracht van dierlijke voeding samen. Orgaanvlees, bottenbouillon, colostrum, oesters en grasgevoerd rundvlees. In geconcentreerde vorm, zodat deze traditionele voedingsmiddelen op een eenvoudige en logische manier passen binnen een moderne dagelijkse routine. Ik ben Gino, oprichter van Real Roots. En ik geloof in de kracht van de natuur. Ontdek wat echte voedingsstoffen voor jou kunnen betekenen op realroots.nl met code Lighthouse.
Wij staan voor een digitale wereld waarin privacy, veiligheid en vrijheid van meningsuiting de norm zijn. Vind jij dat ook belangrijk? Kom dan nu in actie en ontvang gratis de Pro-Privacy Checklist met bijna 100 praktische tips waarmee je vandaag nog je privacy kunt terugpakken. Ga naar proprivacy.io/checklist.
Now, you see, maybe you, others, maybe merely everybody recognized that we are living through very hard times, which might even become tougher in the upcoming weeks and months. I think we are not through yet. And many of the people are discouraged, they are sad, they don't know what to do, which way to go. And I still believe, and this was the main message of this song, that we still have incredible power in ourselves, which will help us to lead the whole story, which, as I told you, involves Big Pharma, the military, the 3 R's. You can read it up what these 3 R's are. Yeah, this kind of global conspiracy, this attack on humanity, where we have a fight like David and Goliath. Yeah, and this is a good comparison. We are David and they are Goliath, but you know how it ended, and who won? It was David. Yeah, and I think we are David. And because we have still resources which are driven by humanity, by brotherhood, by loving each other, and also respect for other peoples, by our tend towards freedom and whatever. And this is some kind of superpower, and this is also the name of the song, kind of superpower, because you see, if you hear all those stories, if you hear all those scandals that arise, I mean, just mentioning the Epstein files, yeah, it's so incredible, so horrific what was done to the children and so on, and who was involved. Yeah, I mean, now we have it. They are blackened out a little bit. But even the rest, it opens up the floor and you tend to fall into into dark. And if we are overboarded by bad news, and I think it's important to reassure people that they are powerful enough to avert it, and that they have skills and knowledge, and also, I would say, some kind of liaisons and connections that will help us to turn away from what they call transhumanity into something what I call panhumanity. So that each and every action we take should be based on humanitarian thinking. And this will make the world a better one, I'm sure.
How beautiful.
I didn't convince you, huh?
Well, you did. It's just surprising to hear that from a scientist like you, because most people would expect you to talk about data. And I am really happy that you also show this almost spiritual side of you, where you can empower people, because I think that's really what we need in these times. And that's also why I wanted to show this clip that you made, that we're more than a scientist or a journalist, but we're also human, and we have a responsibility.
Absolutely.
And we have to carry that out. And that's also why I wanted to interview you, because I figured that there's more behind you than the scientist.
You see, what is science? We tried to figure it out yesterday, and we still will try to do it today. You see, I think science is something that helps you which is a lifelong effort to come as close to the truth as possible. You will never have the full truth. And this is also amazing. I mean, we have so many wonders. I just talked also with Professor Sucharit Bhakti, is here also, and I admire him for his life work and everything. And we were just talking about the rejection of organs. And I said, one of the real wonders of the world is pregnancy. Just guess that a woman who gets pregnant does not reject the implantate in her body, which is half foreign. These are foreign proteins. 50% of the genome comes from the man, and she does not reject it. Try to transplantate, for instance, a lung which is 50% foreign. You will get rid of it within days, and the mother carries her baby inside her womb for 9 months, and she does not reject it. I mean, we are full of wonders, and I think getting closer to the truth is not a contradiction to something like belief. The more we can discover, and if you talk to real scientists, I'm maybe no real scientist, I'm applied, but to the real scientists, they will tell you, if we get one answer, we get 5 more questions. So digging in the deep, it always opens up new fields, because there is a principle behind all that we cannot understand. We just have to believe. And so it's no contradiction in between science and believing, and therefore I'm quite happy with my situation. And if you judge on me like that, I feel very honored.
Thank you for this interview, Martin, and
Thank you.
Sharing your view on all these topics, and also life in general with us. I hope you enjoyed it. Share this video with as many people as you can. That's really helpful for yourself, for our channel, and also for Martin. We're gonna make him famous. He needs it. Thank you, Martin, and have a safe trip back to Austria.
Thank you so much.
Op dit exacte moment bewegen er miljoenen onzichtbare frequenties door jouw lichaam en de ruimte om je heen. Radiogolven, wifi, bluetooth, licht en geluid, magnetische velden en misschien zelfs signalen die we nog niet volledig begrijpen. Je ziet ze niet, je hoort ze niet, Je voelt ze misschien onbewust, maar wat als ze meer invloed hebben op je leven dan je beseft? Wat is eigenlijk een frequentie? En als alles in het universum trilt, resoneert en een eigen frequentie heeft, welke rol spelen deze onzichtbare krachten dan in ons dagelijks leven? Nou, dat is één van de grote vragen die we gaan onderzoeken tijdens de allereerste editie van de Battle Beyond Science op 18 en 19 september dit jaar. Na het grote succes van de Battle for Science in februari, waar de staat van de wetenschap centraal stond, gaan we nu op zoek naar antwoorden op vragen waar de wetenschap geen of nog geen antwoord op heeft. Welke invloed hebben frequenties op ons lichaam, op onze gezondheid, op onze emoties en bewustzijn? En als die invloed er dan is, hoe werkt dat dan? Nou, dat gaan we dus visualiseren. Op grote schermen tonen we live hoe geluid, water, licht en trillingen zich vertalen naar indrukwekkende patronen en vormen. Niet alleen maar om het te zien, maar vooral ook om te leren, te ervaren en te voelen. Laat je dus verrassen door inspirerende lezingen, live-experimenten met onder andere remote viewing, telepathie, tijdreizen, kwantummechanica en sound healing sessies die wetenschap, verwondering en beleving samenbrengen. Met bijzondere gasten zoals de Britse wetenschapper John Stuart Reid, Erik Larakker, Marijn Poels, Baptiste de Paap, professor Pierre Capel, contactee Elena Danaan en vele andere stuk voor stuk sprekers die je zullen uitdagen om verder te kijken dan de grenzen van de traditionele wetenschap. Reserveer vandaag nog je ticket en beleef het allemaal op 18 of 19 september tijdens de allereerste editie van de Battle Beyond Science. Want alles heeft een frequentie.
This program is brought to you by Monflow, ieder innovative technology, Real Root Supplements, Pro-Privacy, Goud 999 en VRB, van eenmanszaak naar BV.